What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday over here. Currently, Bitcoin is down over 1%. It was down more earlier today. It did bring quite a bit of these altcoins down with it. What could be happening with Bitcoin? This is going to be a very urgent situation to be watching because, as I've been saying, that 28K level is not going to be an easy level, and we're feeling some of that volatility right now. So we're going to see what's going to be going on with Bitcoin. We're going to take a look into the charts and see what is likely to happen to the altcoins as well. Of course, the main topic of this video is going to be about Gala Games token. See what has changed since the last time we have talked about this token. Let's take a look into some upside and downside price targets, as well as some key price levels for this coin to break in order to go either direction. I'm going to be giving you guys my personal opinions and sentiment on this market, on this overall crypto market as a whole, later in this video, so make sure to stay around for that. Of course, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. It's purely my personal opinions and speculations. I could very well be wrong, okay? I am not a financial advisor nor an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear markets, and I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, if you guys are feeling pumped on this Thursday morning, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into the charts here. All right, so we're gonna go to Bitcoin real quick because that is the biggest thing that's happening right now. If you have a good altcoin setup, chances are it probably got destroyed by Bitcoin today because, out of my list here, I'm seeing mostly red. I'm just talking about, probabilities, right? You're going to see some exceptions, but, it's mostly red. So if you had a good altcoin setup, it probably got killed by Bitcoin today. I know I had some altcoin setups that were looking good last night, but when I woke up to this, there was no more setup. So, this is something to be keeping an eye out on right now. Now, I've been talking about Bitcoin here on this daily time frame is the focus because, Bitcoin is trying to break on top of that daily 200 SMA, which is about that 28K level, right? That is a very key resistance, very key major moving average. This 28K level is not going to be easy. I've been talking about it since last week or even before, okay? You're gonna have your weekly 200 SMA just at that level as well at that 28K level. Okay, so first of all, you do want to see a daily candle close on top of the daily 200. That would be a short-term bullish signal. Of course, then you're gonna want to see a weekly candle close and hold above the weekly 200 SMA. Okay, so right now it is struggling to do that. Right, a new idea here, right? Price action is forming this rising wedge, which is usually bearish pattern. You guys can go ahead and Google search rising wedge. Whatever trading concepts I'm talking about here, it's searchable. It is free public knowledge. Go ahead and educate yourself on technical analysis. I can't stress how important it is to know technical analysis if you want to stay in this market for the long run, okay? Independent of other people's ideas, right? You don't want to just constantly come onto YouTube and listen to all types of people's opinions, or you can just look at what the chart is doing, what the market is doing, and judge for yourself, okay? I hope you guys will find value in that, right? Just being independent, okay? Now let's take a look at what we have here, this rising wedge pattern, okay? Rising wedges are typically bearish, right? Let's take a measure target out of this rising wedge pattern, which is basically you take a measurement of the opening of the pattern and then you put it at the bottom of the bottom trend line here, right? Below the bottom trend line here. Let's just say if it breaks down, within about Sunday, let's just say, for example, so I can just take a measure target. This is not me saying that it's going to break out by then or before then. It could break out afterwards, but I'm just taking a reasonable future breakout date so I can get a measure target. Let's just say if it breaks out by Sunday, okay? I'm going to get a measure target of about 26.3K area here, okay? That is still pretty, I mean, for a Bitcoin move, that's going to be, that's still pretty steep, okay? Now, I want to add, rising wedges could turn into rising channels, right? Just based on my own experience with pattern recognition, right? Rising wedges could break down and form rising channels, which is still bearish, but that means, you're going to get, quite a bit of support along the way, and you're going to have to rechart this when that does happen. So I will be keeping you guys updated, so make sure to subscribe, like, comment, okay? Also, right, we have quite a bit of moving averages beneath the price action right now. You got your daily 21 SMA, which is going to be about 26.9K area right now. Your daily 50 SMA is going to be about 26.5K area. You're going to have your 3-day moving averages, going to be about 26.9K area for your 3-day 21 SMA, your 3-day 200, 26.3K, right? I think, yeah, so you don't have your other weekly moving averages except for the weekly 50 SMA, which is pretty down there, 24.8K. So something to be, kind of keeping track of, because that is likely to be support, okay? Likely, right? Of course, price action could do one of these. This is on the weekly time frame where you just get a huge, a huge candle breaking quite a bit of support all at once. But if you just look into the chart, how likely is this, right? Don't take it just from me. Just look at the charts. How likely is it that price action or a candle, breaks a moving average on the first try? Just go ahead and answer that for yourself on the chart, and then you see kind of what I mean here. So we do have quite a bit of support that is likely to provide a bounce for this price action, okay? But, for the bullish signal, you still want to see Bitcoin get on top of this daily 200 SMA in the short term, and then eventually the weekly 200 SMA, okay? Now let's go ahead and go to Gala games. Gala token, see what has changed since the last time we have talked about this, okay? On this weekly time frame was basically our focus, right? Because you had, let me go to the 3-day time frame. I usually like to see 3 wicks touching on a trend line here. Okay, 3-day time frame here, because we got 3 candle wicks touching on almost both sides. I'm gonna consider this touching on this third candle here. Okay, it's very close. I'm gonna consider it. So we do have a falling wedge that I am considering. Okay. Now the measure target, if it breaks out by the 3-day candle of October 16th, which I think is still reasonable, but I mean, I'm just picking a random future date that seems reasonable, okay? Just for the sake of getting measure targets, okay? That's going to give you a measure target of about 5.6 cents area. Now, measure targets are estimates only, okay? Google search that. It is an estimate only. It could be over, under. I've seen a lot of measure targets that don't get reached, and I've seen a lot of measure targets get, it gets exceeded, right? It just depends on the type of market. And right now, I think this is a very iffy market, right? The bulls don't really know what to do. The bears don't really know what to do, okay? So, right here, 5.6 cents measure targets. If it doesn't break out by then, move the measurement down along this upward trend line. If this pattern still stays intact, this pattern is running within a falling wedge, so that is typically a bullish pattern. It could still break down, of course. It's just that the probabilities are on your side for it to break upwards. Let's go to the daily time frame and see if we can get any clues on what could potentially be happening here. Okay, on the daily time frame, it has broken out of this falling wedge pattern. A smaller falling wedge pattern on this daily time frame. Okay, measured move is going to be about 2-cent area. Price action has broken out, has hit the daily 50 SMA at about 1.65 cents. Right before getting rejected. That is your daily 50 SMA, the gray line there. Now is getting supported by the daily 21 SMA, about that 1.4 cent area, the blue line there. Okay. Let's take a closer look. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see what could be happening here. So on this 4-hour time frame, I initially had a falling wedge pattern, right? This one broke down. Let's see if we can readjust this bottom trend line to still get another falling wedge pattern. This is going to be a very edgy falling wedge pattern, because once you break this bottom trend line here, I don't think you can rechart this and still call it a falling wedge. This is looking like a very shaky falling wedge pattern here. And it's going to depend a lot on Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin rebounds sometime soon, chances are it could take quite a bit of these altcoins back up. But right now, in my opinion, it's going to depend a lot on Bitcoin, right? Let's take a measure move out of this very shaky falling wedge, right? If it breaks out, let's just say by Saturday, sometime Saturday. Okay, you're going to get a measure target up to about 1.67 cents area. Okay, of course, if this breaks, then we're going to come back and we're going to rechart this and see what's going on. But right now, it is very shaky falling wedge here. Because if you start breaking this bottom trend line, I don't think this could be recharted into a falling wedge again. This is a falling channel, excuse me, still a bullish pattern. So something to be keeping an eye out on, because it looks like it could be breaking this bottom trend line sometime soon. And then if it breaks the daily 21 SMA, that's not going to be looking good for the bulls at this time. Now let's take a look into some key price levels to be paying attention to in order for you to for this price action to break to the upside. Immediately, you're going to have your daily 50 SMA currently at about 1.6 cents area. Okay, daily 200 SMA is outside of the bigger falling wedge pattern, about 2.7 cents area. So it's not even close to the price action right now. Okay, you're going to have your 3-day moving averages, your 3-day 21 SMA, usually pretty in line with the daily 50. It's going to be about 1.7 cents area. 3-day 50 SMA, about that 2.2 cents area, 2.2, 2.3 cents area. 3-day 200 SMA, the orange line here, way out there, 6.3 cents area. Now you guys can repeat this exercise for the weekly and the monthly time frame to look for key supports and resistances. For time's sake and to not bore you guys, I'm not going to do the rest of that here, right? You guys can also refer to past trading history for key support and resistances, okay? On the time frames you guys are focused on, right? I usually focus on the higher time frames. Now, let's go ahead to support here. For support, you have your daily 21 SMA. That's basically right underneath the price action, 1.4 cents area. If you break that, is this price action already at its all-time lows? Yeah, it is. It's basically breached its all-time lows. So if you break that, if you break the daily 21 SMA, you're going to come back here to retest. It's very likely, right, to retest this 1.3 cents area level, which would still be a good 10% drop or so. If that does not hold, the only other estimates I can give you is based on, this bottom trend line here, right? If this price action continues running within this bottom trend line, you could probably have some bounces along the way, like on probably even values, like 1 cent. But that's the only other estimate I can give you. If this 1.3 cent area does not hold, the bottom trend line here would be but my next best guess, right, for estimates to the downside. Now, this basically wraps up my post for Gala. If you guys want to continue seeing Gala, do hit that like, subscribe, comment, letting me know that you guys do want to see more of this coin. I am still overall bullish on this market. I am still long on quite a bit of altcoins. That is not to say I will not pick out some altcoins to short with leverage, of course, especially if I see the setup is right. I am a short-term trader, so I tend to target coins to hold for less than a day to about 2 weeks. Okay, that's my basically preferred time frame to hold these positions. Right, so I'm a very short-term trader, but right now I am going to flip my opinion if the time calls for that. So that's basically what I'm seeing. If you guys like this post, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much.